What's up, you guys? Eric here. Driveline, world's okay steering wheel holder. Just waking up. It was 102 degrees where I'm parked today, so even though the sun's gone down, the ceiling, the walls, everything in my truck is still hot because I sleep during the day. So it's pretty wild. I'm number 17 in line for a shower, so I've got a few minutes, and I'm gonna do something I have never done on my channel. This is gonna be quite a political rant, and I want to apologize ahead of time. I've tried to avoid it as long as possible on YouTube. I've tried to avoid politics with everything in me. I don't think I very rarely have ever talked about politics. Now I ask of you, just let me share my opinion, okay? And I'll ask you don't be hateful towards me for it. If any of you had a differing opinion and you wanted to make a video with your position and opinion, I would not be hateful towards you. It's okay to have disagreements, but it's just wild to me that some people they just go feral. If you dare say something they don't agree with, they just go absolutely feral, animalistic. I'm gonna just get it off my chest and out of my system, and hopefully that's okay with you. Hopefully I don't get a lot of unsubscribes. If I do, I do. It is what it is. I just got to get it off my chest, and I got to get it out of my system. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, you guys. So I'm using a shower credit to take a shower right now, but if I were to have to pay for a shower, I mean, obviously I'm a truck driver. For those who are not truck drivers, obviously I'm a truck driver. We have to either use shower credits or pay for showers out here. It would be $18. $18 is what I would pay for a shower if I didn't have credits for buying fuel. If I were to pay for parking at this location, it would be $23. $23. Now, when I started truck driving, when I was a student back in the beginning of 2019, my trainer, I remember the first time he paid for parking, it was $10 at the same chain, not the same truck stop, the same chain. $10. And I thought that was high. I thought, man, $10 just to park somewhere? It's now $23 to park your truck at a truck stop. $18 to take a shower. So if I had to pay to park and take a shower, be looking at what, over 40 bucks? 40 bucks to park and take a shower. Load locks that go in the trailer. When I started, you could get them for 25 bucks. Inside the store, they're $45. Anti-gel to keep your fuel from freezing in the winter. You used to buy a bottle of that for $7. It's now $20. Gloves. Get a pair of gloves in a truck stop. You used to get them for $7 or $8. Cheapest ones are now $20. Sorry, I'm being distracted because there's someone looking for. Hang on just a second. Sorry. I'm in a perfect parking spot right now, one of the few free spots, and so some guy was a driver. it's chaos where I'm at right now. It's late in the evening, sun's going down, so everybody's trying to find parking. This guy just walked up to my truck. He's like, are you about to leave? I'm like, nah, man, I can't leave for a couple hours. I'll be in line for a shower for another hour probably, at least. Anyway, so where was I? Gloves. A washout at Blue Beacon was, I believe, $37 and is now $45. Now, granted, we don't pay for washout. I don't pay for washouts. The carrier that I pull for pays for washouts. Tires gone up 30%. Food has definitely. Now, I don't buy food in truck stops. I got an amazing wife, and my truck is stocked, believe it or not, for 4 weeks worth of food. Usually when I go home, my wife just works super diligently and makes like just an enormous amount of meals for me to keep in my freezers. So I'm generally stocked for 4 weeks. But the cost of food in truck stops, it's always been expensive. It's always been a gouge because they know they have you by the balls. But oh my God, like I remember sending her a receipt a couple months ago where a foot long at Subway was $13. I don't remember. I think that was in Illinois. I was going home and I was on my way home and I bought a Subway sandwich. It was like $13 for a foot long. Remember $5 foot longs? So literally anything that you buy right now is up 30 to over 100%, but at least 30%. Virtually anything you purchase now, as opposed to when I started driving in 2019, is up is up at least 30%, and in many cases up over 100%. All over the last 4 years. So now, and I know some of you are going to say, oh, well, you know, this is what this administration inherited. And the same people who say this is what this administration inherited didn't say that the last administration inherited, like anything bad that happened in the last administration, they blamed on that administration. And anything good that happened in that administration, they didn't give that administration credit for. It's been 4 years, all right? All this shit is this administration's fault. And I'm gonna tell you right now, like I could not stand Trump. When he ran, I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote at all. I didn't vote for him either time. Now I regret not voting the second time. I will be voting this year. To be the first time I voted, I got to figure things out because I'm gonna have to do it absentee. But it'll be the first time I voted in a long time, just because. Like, it's just, the whole process is just sickening. Like, but I will be voting for Trump this time. I don't give a rat's ass about mean tweets or any of that shit. Here's what I care about. I just want to be able to feed my family. Let me tell you guys, if you're not in trucking, or if you just landed on this video and you're just curious to get a trucker's perspective on this, I pull freight for the largest refrigerated carrier in the country. I like my trucks to, I have a fleet of trucks. I like my trucks to be in the 5,000 plus range. It's what we really strive to be, 5,000 plus gross revenue per week. That doesn't mean the truck is making 5,000. I mean gross revenue to the truck for the week. That's becoming a very desperate play. My reefer just kicked on back on the trailer, so you're gonna hear some buzzing in the background. It is what it is. It's 100 degrees still with the sun down. It's got fresh turkey back there. It's got to be kept at 28 degrees. This is what it is. We did 5,000 revenue per truck in 2019. And we didn't really have to try that hard for it. So we had the same gross revenue per truck in 2019, basically, that we have now. So if I was solo for a while until I teamed with my trucks, or teamed with my wife. And when I was solo, still, I would strive to, you know, hit 5,000 a week in gross revenue. And it was fantastic. Life was affordable. When we started teaming, we were able to build our fleet. Now, there were the COVID years, and I know that for trucking, that was just golden. So I'm not going to pretend that that didn't have something to do with what happened after 2019, but I'm talking about pre-COVID, 2019. So how is it that 5 years later, everything has gone up 30%, and in many cases over 100%, but the gross revenue per truck has not moved one bit, not one bit. So out of that gross revenue, I have to pay for all those things. I have to pay for fuel, I have to pay for maintenance, oil changes, tires, gloves, anti-gel, load locks, everything else I need for the truck. I have to pay for it. All that stuff has gone up 30%, and in many cases over 100%, parking, all that stuff. But the gross revenue stayed the same, which means my profit, what I actually make, is substantially less. So why am I making this video? Well, I'm making this video because earlier this morning I went into the truck stop, and on my way out there's a guy walking in from the fuel aisle and he's on his phone. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop or anything, but I hear, I can't remember the name he said. It was like, let's say Mark. Mark, I can't go another week without making any money. This has been 4 weeks now. The sound of desperation and devastation in this guy's voice was just heartbreaking. Basically telling his dispatcher or his boss or whoever that he hasn't made money for a month, and he can't go on like this. He can't go on not making money anymore. And then I go inside and I see someone wearing a Kamala Harris t-shirt, which I have not seen yet. You don't see a lot of Kamala Harris signs in t-shirts, and I know that they're probably just now being made, but that was the first one I saw, and I was just like, you guys do realize this lady, her job in California was to be in charge of crime. Yes, California, her job was to be in charge of crime. She was a top law enforcement officer in the state of California. Now you look at San Francisco, Los Angeles, etc., and tell me, try to take your partisan goggles off and tell me there's something to stand by there. Unbelievable. And her vice presidential pick was the governor of Minnesota, who basically let his cities burn for days on end and didn't do fuck shit about it. And I'm seeing these people as, you know, Trump's gonna get us into war. Trump was president for 4 years, and all of us outside of COVID were doing much better, and we weren't at war. You guys talking about mean tweets and convictions and all that. I'm just trying to feed my fucking family, man. I'm just trying to be able to afford groceries and have a business and have some sort of hope for a future. why you guys are out there talking about just dumb shit that just doesn't even... If you vote based on a D or an R next to the name, you are the problem. And it goes both ways, but it's much worse on a Democrat side because, like, and again, that's just my opinion, but you go to anybody, like if I would have went to this lady in the Harris shirt, I bet she would have no response if I asked her, what has Kamala Harris done that's going to make your life better? What has she done? I bet they have no idea. No idea. She doesn't have any policy positions on her website. She's a radical. All the policies that have happened over the last almost 4 years that have caused all this devastation economically and all the bullshit that we're in this world, she's to the left of that. And from what I see, everybody who's supporting her is supporting her because she's a Democrat and she's not Trump. You are the problem. If you can't take your partisan goggles off, you're the problem. What it should come down to is, are we going to be able to transcend our current scenario and make things better for our families? But for some reason, for a lot of Americans, that is just not... It's not relevant. So many people are just willing to put blinders on and just be like, well, I hate that guy, and this one's a Democrat and a female and a person of color, so policies be damned, that's where my vote's gonna go. Are you fucking kidding me? We're not in a good place in this world, man. We're not in a good place, and it's... We need to do better. We need to... Look, Trump surprised the living hell out of me. I'm dumbfounded that I'm actually on YouTube advocating for Trump. Like, that just blows my mind. I thought the guy was such an absolute clown. When he first ran in that primary, when was that? 2016. I thought there's no way in hell this guy's gonna win this primary. He's an absolute clown. And here I am on YouTube, pretty much advocating for Trump. It's just, I don't like it. I don't like that it's where I'm at, but it's where I'm at, man. There wasn't war happening all over the place. He had great economic policies. He had policies that were doing good things for all walks of life, all races, all sexes. I don't know how people are saying that he's gonna come after all these various social positions and get us into war all over the world when we have 4 years to look at, and none of that happened. We were able to feed our families. We were able to afford things. You could go buy 8 bags of groceries without spending $190. Boy. Just the chain of events this morning, man. When I hear this guy having this conversation on the phone and I see that, and it's just like, come on, come on. You would think that if people could think without their political goggles on, rationally, and just think about the economics, that it would be so obvious that Kamala would not be our next president. But it's not obvious. That blows my mind. It's not obvious. It's actually possible that she becomes our next president. Oh my God, man. Y'all think it's bad now. Just go ahead and elect her. Go ahead and elect the former top law officer for California and the governor of Minnesota. Boy, God have mercy, man. Anyway, I know there's going to be disagreements. Look, if you got disagreements, I always see the tired old comments, you know. Let's just not be hateful towards each other. Like, don't hate on me just because I have a different opinion. I certainly wouldn't on you. If you're gonna put disagreements down in the comments, fine. If you want to try to blame Trump for this or that, fine. But keep it civil, guys. But seriously, man, I just ask friends and foes alike, please take the party out of it for a minute. Democrat, Republican, take that out of it for a minute. Just think about your family and what you're spending at the grocery store and things like that, and then make your decision. Or at least try to perceive it all through that prism. Oh boy. Alright guys, I gotta see what position I'm in for a shower now and turn my AC back on, because even though the sun's not up anymore, it's still hotter than Hades. Be safe, make good decisions, always drive, thrive. Talk to y'all soon.